Hello everybody, it's Aaron. Welcome to another episode of Feed the Beast. It's been a few days. I apologize for that. I had a hell of a week at work. Been having to stay late and stuff, but it's a really dreary Saturday. It went back down into like the 40s, so I get some Minecraft time today. I haven't really accomplished much. Mostly I've just been gathering ores. Everything is so expensive with Greg Tech. And today we're going to fix that, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a quarry. And at the outset it doesn't look that bad until you look at the diamond drill recipe, and then you realize that you need titanium and steel. Sam was nice enough to give me 2 pieces of titanium, so one of the benefits of playing on a server with people, he's already working on his industrial craft stuff, so he has an industrial blast furnace or whatever it takes to make that. Before we do that, what I want to do is make something called a Unifier. What this thing does, it's a Mine Factory item. Here's the recipe. I just happen to have this stuff left over because you get like 4 of these when you make these and stuff. But what it does is when you put an ore into it, it actually turns it into the first thing in the ore dictionary, like the first entry in the ore dictionary. So if we put in this copper, it turns it into that copper. So it's a way to turn all your ores into the same type without using the link modifier, not the link modifier, the forged lexicon. And this is good because I believe you can pump items in and out of it. So now I can make all my things the same. I think it's ridiculous that the excuse me, the thermal induction or the thermal expansion induction smelter gives you a different type of ore than, or a different type of ingot than the thermal induction powered furnace. That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it's different ores in the world, I don't know, but either way, if it comes from the same mod, it should be the same thing in my opinion. So this is a cool little thing. I'm about to, as soon as we get the quarry going, I want to start working on auto processing and some sort of a storage room. Not really sure where I'm going to put it, but I've got, plenty of time to work on it today and tomorrow. So shouldn't be an issue. So I've already made a lot of the components for this. I've got my steel. I already made all the gears. I think I'm going to need 3 more diamonds. And I got a lot of comments about storage and applied energistics, and I'm interested in checking it out, but I'm going to have to do some testing in creative. And I still don't I kind of don't trust it yet because, that one disk got erased, and that was not cool. So the first thing we need to do is make a drill. I think I made the redstone iron chipset for that, but I think an electronic circuit will work as well. Let me make sure I've got all my stuff here. I'm going to use the pulsating chipset for that one, advanced circuit for that one, and I think I made a circuit and I made a redstone chipset. So I'm going to save the redstone chipset because I can use that for a gate. Alright, and then normally the drill only takes the diamonds in the drill. It doesn't take all this nonsense, if I remember. Alright, drill, and then bam! So if I can remember where I put my ender chest, here it is. I've just been using the turtle so far. So I want to get this thing started, and then I want to try to pump items in and out of this thing. just to make sure that we can do it. I'm pretty sure you can. I don't know if the items have to go into the top or come out the bottom or the sides or what though. So the way I've been running my turtle, you know, it's a regular ender chest, and then I've been filtering out the cobble, sand, and gravel, and then all the good stuff just ends up in here. And I need to sort this a little bit. And I did get the engine set up. I think this is 11 combustion engines running on the biofuel. I have an aqueous accumulator at each end of this pipe, and when these things run to fill up the energy cell, the water actually drains to about 3/4. So what I've done to remedy that, hopefully, and before I show you that, it's just a standard gate setup with a latch on the bottom. The same one I always do. What I did to remedy the water situation, I made another tank below this with Zirconium water on a valve. So we have 5,000 buckets of water down here, and I should be able to just put a valve at the bottom of the tank, and when I put my combustion engines on this side, I can just run it up underneath them and fill them that way. So hopefully that'll fix it. I didn't know if one accumulator was going to be enough, so I made two, and it turns out that two is pushing it. If these things ran constantly, the water would not stay full enough to keep them from exploding. So maybe it's just because I only have two of them on 11 engines. I don't know. But what are those? They're 5 apiece, 5 MJ, so it's 55 MJ minus the 5% that the conduit loses. And it fills the thing up pretty quick. I mean, this is just kind of a buffer, you know, in between. And it's actually going to kick on pretty soon. I actually had an idea for like a power grid. Let's say I had this same setup on each side of this, but I ran a conduit out kind of like in a square pattern around it so that everything was connected. I tried it with 2 energy cells to see if they would balance. Like one was almost empty and one was full, and I kind of ran the conduit around so they were feeding each other, but I just ended up losing energy. They didn't balance like I thought they might. So I'm going to do some further testing with that, but it doesn't look like a good option for now until I could figure out, you know, what's up. So let's see. I'm just going to run this the default size right now. The ground level at this one is like 90, but I didn't really want to go through all that dirt because I'm just going to have to filter it out later. So I just decided to kind of tunnel down here. And let's set this about 20 and hopefully the little laser's doing its thing. I'm just going to leave it. And then we'll check on it later. Eventually what I'm going to do is probably dedicate about, I don't know, 5 or 6 either combustion or magmatic engines and a tesseract to run the quarry. But for now I'm just going to use the redstone energy cell because it's handy. Oh yeah, that's working just fine. I don't know if that thing just hurt me or what. One thing I did notice about the filler was when I was using it, if, you know, it works from the top down like this, when it clears a block, if you're standing on it, you'll actually pick it up. So you can use it in a way to mine a little bit. I mean, it's not very effective, but if you're clearing an area and there's stuff there, you can definitely get, you know, at least the ores. You don't get all the cobble and stuff anymore, but you know, that's no big deal because, you know, who really wants all of that anyway? All right, there it is. Just like that. There's our quarry. There are no caves here, so we don't have to worry about lava. But if when I was running the turtle, and this is a big problem with the turtle, so be aware of this. If you run the turtle, mobs can get in the way, and your turtle will actually get stuck. So I've been filling those things with water just because so the mobs wouldn't spawn, and I wouldn't have to worry about the turtle getting stuck. So I don't know if the autarkic gate is going to keep up with this. It doesn't look like it is. So let's just slow it down a little bit for now. And what I may have to do is actually filter out the cobble and stuff on this side instead of on the other side. It wasn't a big deal with the turtle because the turtle only drops off 16 slots worth of stuff, you know, every so many minutes. But the quarry actually works quite a bit faster, as I'm sure you're aware. And I want to get this copper real quick just because copper is in short supply. I really haven't had a lot of problem with it, but I have a feeling that once I start setting up my storage and sorting stuff, I'm going to have to make a few more machines, and I'm going to start running out of stuff. Alright, we'll just kick that back up to 10. It's still running pretty fast, so definitely not fast enough to keep up, or definitely faster than the autarkic gate on the other end can keep up. Hard to tell. Oh well, that's good enough for now. I will be using a tesseract for that eventually, but right now I just wanted to get something going so I could get a few more resources while this is happening. So let's do this. Let's grab a couple of wooden transport pipes and a couple of autarkic gates. And we'll see how this unifier works. Come on, mouse. My mouse isn't turning today for some reason. Maybe because I just cleaned off my mouse pad. Maybe it's too clean. Here we go. 2 of those, 2 of those. Oh, apparently I made an extra ender pouch unnecessarily. That's alright. You can never have too many of those, right? Alright, so let's get something that we have different types of. Tin is definitely one of them. We'll grab some of the tin. Silver also. I'm not going to do all of it yet. I just, actually, I'll keep it and I'll just do it later. Invar is another one, since that is actually, I didn't know there were more types of that. Alright, let's give this thing a shot, and hopefully this works like I think it's going to work. Or like I hope it works anyway. See, chest, pipe, unifier, pipe, chest. And I was going to go left to right, but apparently the pipe wants to go right to left, so that's no problem. And I'll just set it to... Actually, let's set this one to inventory, items in inventory, just to make sure that it's going to work like it should work, like when we set it up in a real world environment. So the machine works faster than the pipe does. Which is why those got kicked out. Actually, it's not working. Okay. Probably have to put them into the top. No big deal, really. But it's one of those things, you know, you don't know until you try. Alright, let's try this again. We'll do the silver first. And I don't know which silver it's actually going to turn it into. If at all. And there we have other stuff. So it appears I've discovered an item duplication bug. Because it's just pulling out all this silver. And I didn't put that much into it. Yeah, that's no good. Sorry, guys. Alright. Well, I don't remember how much of that I had when I started. Oh. Now it's all here? Oh, that's weird. You guys saw that, right? That was crazy. So maybe it's just a lag thing, or let's send a couple invar through and see if it clears this out. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm just going to put those in there. And then when I put them in my inventory, they'll probably disappear like they did before. And I lost my other two invar, so... Well, you can put them in manually, apparently, and you don't lose anything. Well, I don't know if I'm going to use this then, because, I mean, I guess I could do it manually, but if I can't automate it, that really doesn't do me a lot of good. On the one hand, I guess it's better than the Forge Lexicon, because you can just drop your stuff in there and it'll go. But on the same token, kind of a pain to have to do it manually. So I don't know, I'll have to think about that. I'll look and I'll throw away whatever got duplicated. Before I go, I did change this up a bit. I put a gate on the bottom of each of these stills, and I put one on the bottom of the fermenter. I was having a problem with like losing saplings or something when I was offline. Like the chunks loaded, but I wouldn't have anything happening. Like, I don't know if my cart went out of the chunk loaded, like the loaded chunk boundaries or what. So basically what I did was I shortened the track a little bit so that it all stayed in, you know, the border where the chunk loader is. And it still happened. So last night I shut off all the machines and I ended up with 50 something stacks of saplings, and now it's keeping up. So like, I don't know what the deal is with that. So if you're aware of any bug with the Steve Cart farm or the cargo manager or something, please let me know, because it happened to Sam too. We don't know what gives. But I set a gate on the bottom of this one. I added a condition: if the machine has work, give a redstone signal so the engines automatically kick on if there's work to do. And on this side, basically what I've been doing is I don't leave these running all the time, since the 5 work faster than that one fermenter. So if I shut off the switch here, it kills the flow of biomass to the engines and to the stills. And there's a gate underneath each one that says, basically, it's kind of like that one: if the machine has work, emit a redstone signal. So each of these engines only works on the still that's right in front of it. So basically, they only run when there's actually something to do, so they're not just sitting around wasting energy or fuel. I got some more comments about the golems and a wheat farm, and I'm totally interested in doing that, but I have to do the research still. Maybe I'll have time to do that this weekend if I have enough resources. I'll just have to see how that goes. And it looks like we have caught up, so that is good. We got some more stuff, so I'll fix all this up, you know, after the episode. These are all the glitch turtles that I got. I'm going to use them for decorations. I'm not going to use them for anything. I mean, they're not even mining turtles or anything. I don't know what happens, but I don't know if it's, I don't know. I have a chunk loader turtle. Wow, look at all this. Yeah. Well, I don't know about the Unifier, guys. Let me know if you have any insight into that too, because the things, the Mine Factory things I've messed with so far are pretty cool, and it's really odd that that it glitches like that. So let me know if you know anything about that too, because I really wanted to be able to use that to automatically, you know, put everything where I needed it to go, instead of like remacerating or pulverizing all my ores. So that's going to do it for this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them down below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.